That, honestly, one of my favorite monster rampages. The fight at Mount Fuji, to me, is really good. In a lot of ways, it's fun monster battle. Uh, of course, in a modern cinema, I think we have to be a lot more animalistic, more realistic looking. But for the '60s, I think it's a passable fight. And I love Godzilla was just basically kicking King Kong's ass for the whole duration of the fight. And then King Kong, has a Deus Ex Machina of lightning, and then he starts fighting evenly with Godzilla. And of course, like I said, the fight ends in a draw. They both fall off the side of Mount Fuji into the ocean, so it doesn't really have a definitive conclusion. But I think, debating who's going to win in this movie doesn't really matter. These are both the Showa incarnations of the monsters, and the Godzilla's gotten stronger. King Kong has remained the same, so does it really matter who'd win, really? I don't think so. Not to mention, I guess I forgot to mention, King Kong is obviously sized up from his American counterpart, who stands about, I think, 30 feet tall. Still a really big ape, don't get me wrong. I'm terrified the living hell of me to meet King Kong, but this version stands, I think, like 140 feet. Like, he's shorter than Godzilla, which is only natural. And like I said, there is elements of comedy in the monster fighting. This is very odd if you think about it, because after the first two Godzilla movies were very serious, Mothra versus Godzilla would bring back this seriousness. There would be no comedy portrayed through Mothra or Godzilla in that movie, and it was a very serious movie. We even had human antagonist to, pair with Godzilla, who was also the main antagonist. Here, there's a lot of comedy in the monster fighting, a lot of trips and flips, and there's no human villains during the whole thing, so the human side of the story kind of gets bland at times. That's the problem with it. But like I said, it's meant to be a comedy, so that's why it's like that. Because later on in Godzilla movie, there would always be human villains, at least in the show era I'm talking about, for the humans to worry about. Next movie had the corrupt. This is the next movie. Actually, if you think about it, that's Honda at his best, and that was when he tried the same message with CEOs. But this time he took it to the next level. They were outright greedy, and they caused a lot of fucking problems for Japan, by bringing Godzilla and Mothra together and just wrecking a whole lot of the countryside, including getting themselves killed. So, compared to the comically greedy CEOs we see in this movie, we get the full, all-out bad ones in the next one, which is crazy. And then, of course, in Ghidorah Monster, we had the Assassins, Invasion of Astro Monster, we finally had Aliens. But this movie has no human antagonists to worry about, so all they mostly do is discuss how to deal with the monsters. And there's these some great scenes of them trying to trap Godzilla in the pits with the poison gas and dynamite, which is always that was a great scene to me. I loved it. And, of course, dealing with King Kong. I just could never get into the King Kong scenes because, I don't know, I just couldn't get into it. Of course, because he looks awful, and King Kong also has a theme in the movie, and Godzilla's theme is dark and full of energy, and you just feel an awesome presence when Godzilla's around because of the music. But King Kong's theme is more drab, I should say. It's not as energetic as something like Rodan or mystical like Mothra's or overpowering like King Ghidorah's theme. It's one of the themes that's just okay. I don't really care for King Kong's theme too much in the movie, honestly. And yeah, speaking of that, the score for this movie is pretty good. The only thing I said that I kind of don't like is that Godzilla's theme, once King Kong and Godzilla meet, we don't hear Godzilla's theme ever again in the movie. You hear the King Kong versus Godzilla battle theme, which is great. But like I said, Godzilla's theme was awesome. I would love to hear more of it in the movie. Of course, once King Kong and Godzilla fight the first time, it's mainly focused on King Kong, who attacks Tokyo, and they have to deal with him. For some reason, Godzilla heads to Mount Fuji. Don't know exactly why, but he just does. And now moving on to the American version. The American version, the dubbing is definitely captures the comedy this film is going for in some ways. They also add these American scenes, American actors commenting on the situation between Godzilla and King Kong. Look at that very funny and very stupid moment where the man says Godzilla has a tiny brain, King Kong smarter. Kind of dumb, really. King Kong ran face first into a freaking rock. And as far as the movie shows, I didn't see any sign of higher intelligence on Kong's end of the fight. But like I said, it's an American scene, so why bother, you know, worrying about it. The American score, though, is interesting because they also add... It's definitely not better than a Japanese score, nowhere near, but it's interesting, but only because it adds the score, and from a lot of movies, but mainly the biggest ones are pieces of music from Creature from the Black Lagoon, which had a great score, so to hear it in this movie was like, what the hell? That was another great movie from my childhood. I still love Creature from the Black Lagoon. It's a really great movie. And then to hear the score in this movie was interesting, especially during the King Kong Godzilla fight. That was very interesting. But like I said, Japanese score is still superior, and it's one of Ifukubei's one of the great ones. Although not one of his best to me, but still really good. I mean, to be honest, this version of Godzilla's theme is kind of like the most from the Showa era. It was just great, fantastic. So in grading this movie, I would definitely, I always go back and forth this movie, but, in my modern mindset, I would definitely give this movie a 7 out of 10. Because I get where Kondo was going with the movie, and I respect it, but to me, there are a lot more thrilling Godzilla movies in a number of ways. Better fight scenes, more energetic music, 100% throughout, better human characters, better human conflicts. I mean, a lot of stuff that was done okay here would be improved upon in Gateway That Monster and Mothra vs. Godzilla, some of the highlights of this whole 60s, 70s era. So while this film is definitely, it's different is the best way to describe it for me. I mean, it's nothing like what came before it, and it was, I guess, a sign of things to come in a certain sense, because, some of the, like I said, some of the camp in the Godzilla and King Kong fight, they did the best they could, but like I said, the fight definitely was not as great as something like Mothra versus Godzilla, where that fight was just awesome. But yeah, 7 out of 10 is what I'd go with. It's an interesting movie. It has a lot of flaws, though, and in the modern day, if you don't watch it for the... In modern day, when I pop this movie in, I mainly watch it for those rampage scenes and the end fight. I don't get too much out of watching a movie in the modern day. It's one of those ones I definitely skip around a lot when I'm watching it on DVD. Whereas Mothra vs. Godzilla or Ghidorah Three-Headed Monster, I could watch the whole thing and just be entertained. This movie doesn't quite do that, but it's not bad, though. It's definitely not bad. That's my review of King Kong vs. Godzilla. I think I pretty much covered anything I would really want to talk about in this movie. Other than the fact that... Well, I already gave my opinion on a remake of this movie, so you can watch that video if you wanted to. But if you can tell by the tone of my voice, I'm not really enthralled to have a King Kong vs. Godzilla remake, and I don't really want one, because to me they're just too different. It just doesn't need to happen. But yeah, see you next time, G fans, and stay tuned for my next video.